Just a little update today on these Sulavair boots. If you follow my channel, you'll know that I'm testing these out and comparing them to the Doc Martens Made in England brand, but we'll get onto that later. But for the first follow-up video, I just thought I'd do an update just covering the breaking in of these boots and my first initial experiences with them. I've been wearing these for the last 2 weeks. I've been wearing them on the walked commute to work every day, so back and forth each day, that's about 3 miles, so 10 working days. We've probably done about 30 miles worth of walking in these boots, and I think these are pretty much broken in. So by broken in, I mean that they can be worn all day without any discomfort, no blisters, no pinches, just comfortable boots, which of course they'll age and they'll break in more, but I think the initial break-in period, such as it was, is now done. So I can reflect on that and I can tell you how these boots are sort of out of the box, if you will. So the initial first experience of these, the standout thing and the real difference between these and Doc Martens are the soles. So I've got great hopes for these soles. They are a tougher rubber, they've got a deeper tread pattern, and I hope that they wear a little bit longer than the traditional Doc Marten soles, because they are soles that I find that wear really, really quick. So out of the box, first experience with these on is that on foot they do feel notably heavier than Doc Martens boots. They also lack that sort of initial bounce that you get with Doc Martens boots. So the Doc Marten boots obviously have the air sole. These also have a sort of air cushion sole as well, as they describe it. But the Doc Martens, you do get that initial bounce. So after about a month or two of wear, the bounce dissipates and disappears a bit as the sort of air escapes the soles or whatever it is. But that initial bounce you get with Doc Martens boots wasn't there with these. But plenty comfy, very, very flexible, and the soles really are wearing pretty well. We'll come in for a few close-ups, but all we've lost so far is the sort of the stippled patterning on the sort of most prominent patches, a little bit on the heel, but you know, no real wear to talk about, and one would hope not after just 30 miles of walking. A couple of other things which I've noticed with these, and certainly comparing them to the Doc Martens Classics, which also have this sort of shiny coated style sort of corrected leather. What I found with the Doc Marten Classics, which did fail, if you follow my channel you'll have seen that they did have some problems, is that the tongue is really, really quite rigid to begin with, which means that as you can't tighten your foot that much, so you can't cinch back the laces to get your heel snugged back into the heel cap. With these, the tongue is actually really nice and pliable from the get-go, and you don't really need to break that tongue in to get a good fit. So that really was a much improved experience. So the initial fit, there's no sort of heel slop, and one thing I did miss when I did the initial videos on these is that the heel cap has got a sort of little felt lining. You can see the black there just above the leather sort of heel sole component, insole part, but there's a nice sort of felt lining to it, which also I'm guessing that's designed to help stop that sort of heel slop, which gives you a little blister on the back of your heel by your Achilles. I might text them, I might email them, ask them exactly what that felt portion is, but I think that's what it's doing. It's just helping your foot snug back in there. The leather, I think, is very, very similar to the traditional leathers used in Doc Martens. It was pretty pliable, it's broken in really nicely, it's not really giving me any problems, but it does have that very sort of coated feel to it, and after sort of 5 days of wear I did put a bit of treatment on it. So I used the Doc Martens Wonder Balsam just to make sure that they hadn't dried out in storage before they got to me. Gave it a light coating, and to be honest, I'm not sure how much settled in really, but I thought I'd give it a go and just make sure that they weren't thirsty for conditioner. So initial feelings are that the break-in was really easy. So the boots straight into walking to work. I did take them off at work for the first couple of days, so it was just the walked commute that I was using them for, but they gave me no problem at all. There was no blisters, no pinches, nothing untoward. A very, very comfortable boot, which really didn't take in any breaking in at all, really, to be honest. The only place that I got a very slight pinch occasionally is just on the sort of edge of the toe box here. If you do sort of flex your foot extreme, so when you, for example, when you kneel down, you're almost sort of bending your toes back. I find with any boot that you can get that just little pinch on the little toe, and eventually you'll break your boot in enough to avoid that. But day-to-day walking, no pinches, no blisters, a medium thickness sock, nothing special, and very, very easy to wear. And I'd be confident wearing these all day long now. In terms of sizing, the other portion of the sort of reflection is the sizing. Well, these are 8.5, so these come in half sizes. I followed the guide on the web page, and I was sort of borderline between 8.5, but I was leaning towards 8.5, so I went for that. I think I could have gone for the 8. They're not oversized by any stretch of the imagination, but the space in the toe box, the width as well, I think I could have gone down half a size without any problems. I do kind of like to break a boot in, make it my own, shape it to my foot. But having said that, these will be absolutely fine for a thicker sock. They're taken insole, being slightly more generous. So actually that might be quite a good thing, because what I find is over the years of wearing these very traditionally sort of modelled boots, I'm wondering whether I do need some extra arch support to support my feet, and that would come through an insole. So I might try out an insole with these, but they're absolutely fine, and certainly anything could be corrected with a thicker sock. They're certainly not too small, probably could have gone down half a size. So that's really their sole there. So very easy break-in. Initial impressions are very good. Heavier sole than a Doc Martens, lacking that slight bounce, but I think it's made up for in the more robust sole material, which I do hope will be proved to be longer wearing, and that's why we're doing a side-to-side test with the Made in England models. But yeah, time will tell. Very easy break-in, sizing's good, could have maybe gone down half a size. If you're buying these, check out the webpage, email them, ask them some advice, see how you go. But yeah, all good so far. Close-ups, you can see the creases forming in the toe box that it breaks in. No problems there at all. The sole, I'm going to say very minimum wear, so the slight dimpling, obviously worn off on the forefoot here, a little bit on the very edge of the toe, and a tiny bit on the heel. Very early days, 30 miles in, shouldn't be any problems at all. But yeah, sole's looking good. The rest of the boot, breaking in very gently. One thing I do find with all these boots is the collar here where it meets your leg. Maybe I've got very skinny legs, but it'd be nice just to have this sort of cut back a little bit, because I often get it back to that stage and it's still not tight. It'd be nice just to maybe have an inch or so off this leather, just so you can tighten up if you like. The tongue broken really easy, which is actually quite an important feature in getting a comfortable fit, being able to get it cinched back tight on your foot. And then in the heel, you can see that's a little felt heel cap there. I do think that's all about getting your heel to snug in there without sort of riding around, but I might be wrong. So that brings us on to the next video, which will be the Doc Martens Made in England Oxbloods. So if you follow my channel, you know what this is all about. The internet wisdom tells us that Solivairs are basically the Doc Martens of old. They last longer, they're better built, they're what make Doc Martens famous, or the qualities that made Doc Martens famous. So I just wanted to put them head to head with the Made in England brand, which also has got quite a good reputation. It's really the offshore produced, the outsourced Doc Martens, which are problematic. So these will be the next. So what I'll be doing, I'll be wearing these in rotation, so I'll give these 2 weeks. I'll do the same break-in procedure, so a walk to commute to work, probably about 30 miles all told over the next couple of weeks, and we'll see how they compare. They do look quite nicely made. They've got a nice sort of grained leather, which I quite like. corrected on the other side. But one thing I have noticed as I've looked at these a bit more, the quality control on these soles isn't exactly perfect. It's got a little wiggle down the side there, and actually on the heel cap, just where you need the tread, there's not really much there. It's almost like they've used maybe a size bigger sole and then trimmed it back, because if you look on the sole there, where you're going to wear your heel, you've actually got plenty of extra material. On Doc Martens, slightly less. So we'll see how that wears. Certainly hand built, which is kind of nice. It's got that sort of charm to it, but a few wobbles in the QC, but we'll see how it goes. And really, the test is how well they wear, and that's what this is all about. So yeah, if you haven't seen my channel before, please check it out. If you're interested to see an honest and objective test between these boots, I'm intrigued to find out whether the internet is right, whether Solar Air are that much better than Doc Martens of today. But yeah, we'll find out together. Follow along. Do subscribe. Give it a thumbs up if you think this is a useful video. And if you haven't seen my channel before, check it out. Might share some other common interests. So quality footwear, denim, everyday carry, fountain pens, pen knives, cycling, running, anything that really sort of passes my sort of interests, I'd like to share on here and see if anyone can inform me and whether I can help anyone out, really. So that's about it. Hope that was useful. Thank you very much. Bye bye.